Today, I want to tell you something that I didn't plan to say on the podcast, but I think it's important to share. And I love to be transparent. And as I learn things, share with you so you can apply those learnings to your life, your career, and your journey. So, I've been talking a lot about the Portfolio Career Academy and the fact that we are starting on the 29th of June. And I have had to make the difficult decision to push back the start date. I had the launch date, I had everything mapped out. I was super, super excited to be enrolling people into the program. But due to various circumstances, which I'll share a little bit with you shortly, I've decided to push it back. And I am someone who, when I make a decision to do something and I set a date for something, I make it happen. And so it feels quite vulnerable to be like, actually, I'm changing my mind. But there is a lesson here about changing your mind, what it means, and how we might embrace it more so that it can support us as we navigate our way through various stages and phases of our careers and our journeys. So I want you to lean into today's episode as I share with you the behind the scenes thinking of the decision that I've just made. Welcome to the Career Changemaker podcast. Do you want clear direction about your next chapter, but find yourself overthinking every move and worrying about getting it wrong? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Janine Esbrand, corporate lawyer turned career coach, keynote speaker, and mother of two. And I've discovered how to gain real career clarity and build an impactful career on my terms without sacrificing security or burning out. If you're ready for aligned career options, confident decisions, and work that protects your peace, close that comparison tab on LinkedIn, grab your notebook, and let's dive in. Before I dig into today's episode, I do want to remind you what the Portfolio Career Academy is. This is my 12-week group coaching experience for women who are ready to build an additional stream of income beyond their current role, women who recognize the importance of diversifying your income and your impact, particularly in this current climate. We want to build our own safety nets to make sure that if there is a redundancy, a restructure, or something that shifts your current reality, you are not blindsided. So we are starting to build before we need it. And I'm really excited to invite a cohort of women in who are ready to do that. We were going to start on the 29th of June. That date has been pushed back to the 7th of September. If you are interested in the program, I invite you to book your fitting call. We will still have a conversation about whether the program is a good fit for you. And then we will get started after the summer in September. Today, I'm going to share with you the behind the scenes of what it looks like when you are running a portfolio career and you do have multiple streams of income and ways that you are working with people and showing up. So I had decided months ago that I am going to launch this program, super excited about what it is that I'm going to be creating. And I put the date on the calendar that we were going to launch on the 29th of June. My idea was that I would start with people at the end of June, we'd work over the summer and they'd be set up and good to go and ready to start earning additional income come September. And that was all working well. I had the launch plan. I had my team executing each and every week on the different things that needed to happen. I've been releasing podcast episodes about what it means to have a portfolio career and sharing content around it. So all has been going well in terms of launching the program. I've been having conversations with people. But what is also happening whilst I'm doing those things is I am executing on a number of projects, consulting projects at the same time. And what I anticipated was going to be required of me versus what is in actual fact required of me in this season isn't matching. And so I am someone who is high energy. I have a lot of capacity to hold a lot of things. So when I was looking at my calendar, I was like, yeah, I'll be able to do these things and launch the program. And now I'm in the midst of it. I'm like, okay, you know what? One thing that we do need to make sure that we're prioritizing as we are holding different things and managing different projects is our well-being, our health, and our energy and capacity. So as I am starting to recognize that it's taking a lot from me to be doing all of the things. I needed to take pause and say, okay, in this season, what is non-negotiable and what is something that is movable? And so as I have committed to the various contracts that I'm in the midst of delivering on, I need to prioritize those. And this program hasn't yet started. And so I decided that I'm going to move the date that we're starting the program. And I will tell you, it was a back and forth decision. I was like, oh, I don't know. I feel uncomfortable. What are people going to think? But the thing that really solidified my decision was me going back and really thinking about my why. Why is it that I've chosen to work in the way that I work? Why have I chosen to position things the way that I have? And a big part of why I decided to step off of the corporate track and build a career that is flexible and build in a way that can fit around my life is my children, and being able to spend the time with them and having the flexibility to show up to the things that are important. And my son is preparing for the transition into senior school. And it hit me the other day that this is the last summer with him before he goes to high school. And there is the transitions that are happening in terms of him growing up and him developing, and seeing him just change and turn into a preteen, and anticipating that as he goes to high school, there's going to be another shift. I thought, you know what? I actually want to carve out time over the summer to really enjoy this season of parenting and this season of his life, right? I won't get that again. So when I was deciding, do I push through and deliver the program now, or do I wait? I was like, actually, let me wait. Let me spend the time with my son over the summer without thinking, oh, I need to do this and that for the program, and then come back fresh in September feeling like we've had some time well spent as he's prepared for senior school. So that was a thing that really sealed the deal for me in terms of deciding to move the date. And the lesson here for you is, when you are faced with decisions, it is important to go back to your why and your values and what is important to you, and allow that to be the thing that drives the way that you go. And the other thing is that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. I think so often as adults, we will make a decision and we will say, this is what I'm going to do. And we will, come what may, make that happen. But the beauty of being an adult is that you get to decide. You get to decide and you get to change your mind. And I think so many of us don't give ourselves permission to change our mind. And the reality is, when you make certain decisions, whether that be a decision about the career path that you start on, or a decision about taking on a new role or starting a new project, you're making that decision based on the information that you have available to you at that time. But that can change. And that information can shift, it can change, different circumstances may arise that you didn't anticipate. And so it's okay to recalibrate. It's okay to say, oh yes, when I made the decision, A, B, and C was a factor, and now there's been development, and now X, Y, and Z are a factor that I didn't necessarily anticipate. So I hope that is encouraging for you, particularly if you're someone who's at a crossroads with your career and you're thinking, what do I do next? And how do I navigate? And you're starting to question yourself around whether you should even be having those thoughts or those questions. It's okay. It's okay to reset. It's okay to say, actually, I thought this, but now I think that, and then move forward regardless. So just a couple points that I do want to leave with you too is that um, when you start building out a portfolio career, one of the things to look out for is capacity, and making sure that you are able to scope out the different things that you're working on. It's a good problem to have, right? When you've got too much work, but it is something to manage. So when you're thinking about what types of additional streams you might add to what it is that you're doing, it's important to think about, how much time do you have? When will you dedicate time to do other things? What support do you have? So I'm really happy that I have a small team that is able to help me, that I can delegate to, that can be working on driving things forward when I am in delivery mode for clients. So thinking about what support you might need professionally, but then also personally, do you need support at home that can free up your time and capacity to focus on the different projects that you're doing? So as you are deciding to build capacity is an important factor. And we will be spending time on that in the program and really looking at calendar management, scoping out projects, capacity, how to do these check-ins, how to reprioritize and make sure that you are honoring the commitments that you've made, but also navigating the amazing opportunities that are down the pipe. The second thing that I want to emphasize is that changing your mind is a decision, not a failure. So when we are thinking about giving ourselves permission to change our mind, don't think that, I wanted to do that and I didn't make it or I didn't hit the goal. It's not a failure that you have changed your mind. It's a learning moment. It's an opportunity for you to recognize that your priorities have shifted. It's an opportunity for you to decide how you're going to do things differently going forward, and then communicate that with people, communicate it with confidence. We don't need to be apologetic around changing our minds. If it makes the most sense for you in this season, you need to do what you need to do. So hopefully you see that from what I've been sharing with you today. And protecting what matters is the whole point. So when I took the moment to say, actually, why am I doing all of this? And coming back to the crux of the matter, which is family and that value, then it made it easier to make the decision. And sometimes we wrestle and we tussle with decisions because we're not asking ourselves, what is the right criteria? What is the right decision criteria in this scenario, in this circumstance? And once you've got the correct decision criteria, which is aligned with the values and what's important to you in this season, it's easier to prioritize your non-negotiables. It's easier for me to say, look, I know I want this program to be the best that it can be. And if I push through and try and get started now, I'm not going to be happy with the fact that I haven't been able to give it my all because my energy isn't there or my focus isn't there in the way that I would want to be. And don't get me wrong, I know that if I was to push through and deliver now, I could make it great, but at what expense, right? What expense? I can make the program fantastic. And once we're getting going, feel like I don't have as much energy to give to each and every woman that comes through the door. And I don't want that. I don't want that. So prioritizing family, prioritizing my company values and the integrity of what it is that I do, that's important to me. And so I'd rather come on here and share with you that I'm changing the date and I'm pushing it back and do that than to try and push through and not be able to honor the values that I stand behind personally and also professionally inside of my business. So that's what I've decided to do. And so this episode today, I just wanted to jump on and share with you the plan. I'll still be sharing the content that I plan to share in relation to portfolio careers and building out different streams of income, because I think now more than ever, it's more and more important as redundancy rounds and layoffs are happening on more of a regular basis. I'm hearing it more and more amongst the network that I have and amongst my community. I do want to make sure that people are equipped. So I'm still going to be sharing content that can be helpful for you. But if you are looking to join the program and like the sound of it as I am sharing, we'll be getting started in September instead of at the end of June. So that's all I have for you today. Until next time, I want you to remember that no one is going to care about your career as much as you do. So act like it. Hey, ambitious woman, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to follow the show and share it with someone who may be quietly rethinking their next chapter? Also, please leave a review. It really helps this message reach more ambitious women ready for career clarity. And it lights me up to know that this podcast is helpful to you. Until next time, go and take one strategic step forward, and I'll meet you back here in a few days for another episode. Let's keep building.